Almost forgot to deposit the fuel. Yeah, that entirely restocked all of the spent fuel from cooking all of that food. And then it even progressed some further fuel, and additionally I was able to clear out my inventory. Now that my inventory is all cleared out, I can actually go over here and pull up my mending longbow here. I can lock the hopper above and below the smelter, pull out a dried kelp, boom, fully repaired bow, and I'm level 13. Do I have anything else that has mending? I got a Curse of Vanishing Infinity bow. Oh, this can use it. Okay. Let's pull out these dried kelp. Boom. Instantly, fully repaired, Curse of Vanishing 1, Mending 1, fishing rod. Just like that. Now, that's 33 levels, but that's 9 levels. Now it's a maxed out mending fishing rod, or maxed out Curse of Vanishing fishing rod. And on top of that, this one's not far away. You know, if I could just spend nothing but experience to repair these, then yeah, I could repair these easy. Unfortunately, it seems I can only really merge them to repair them, but even still, that's pretty good. Now, that's gonna go through a bunch of different kelp. In the meantime, it's just gonna crank out bunches of experience. Yeah, if I just watch it for like 2 items, I get a bunch of levels, just like that. Now, I get to run all the way back over to here, because I want to rest in this bed. Because this one actually has a view of, like, the moon. If it's high enough. If it's not high enough, then it doesn't have a view of the moon. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted from over here? I have a mending bow. I suppose there's that. Alright, I can put away the infinity bow for now. Actually, how much is it to put this on this? I could switch it over to a mending bow, and that would give me the Power 5 enchantment. But it would kind of take away all of the infinity benefit, and it would also kind of consume the Power 5 enchantment potential in the process. Yes, yes, I took a little bit of damage, but I did manage to harvest pretty much the entirety of this place in one pass. And on top of that, I am now gathering stacks upon stacks of kelp. Oh boy, is there a lot of kelp. Additionally, I recently found out that someone else that I know just randomly mentioned that one of the people that they are familiar with for Minecraft videos is the YouTuber Preston Plays, which kind of surprised me. I didn't think that that would be the type of person that some of the people that I know are the type of people that would watch a Preston Plays video. The problem with Preston Plays is that his videos seem to always be quite a bit eccentric. They're very self-oriented, a little bit self-centered, really. I understand why. He's going for that super self-hype type of person creating YouTube videos. That's an understandable response, you know. But at the same time, it doesn't really help his channel much long term, because long term he still needs to actually, back up his statements with facts. Yes, he's talking the talk, but is he walking the walk, sort of situation. There's a moment where eventually you get to a point where you're sitting there saying, look, everyone needs to basically find a way to prove what they're claiming. Otherwise, they're obviously not as good as they claim. That's basically the concept behind over promoting yourself, where you are using hyperbole in order to promote yourself and promote your talents. Similar to if I were to advertise that I have merchandise available on my Patreon. If you're a Patreon member for a long enough time, you pledge enough money over time to support me, the items that you will receive will be fairly priced, and I will additionally get a sizable donation to my fund for acquiring a better computing device, a better laptop. If I get a better laptop, then I will be better equipped for uploading videos in a more stable form. I will be better equipped for recording more videos. I will be eventually better able to provide different content on my channel. I have the game Space Engineers, for example. If I get a decent amount of money together, I can get a new computer, and then I can install Space Engineers and Final Fantasy XI, and I can start doing Space Engineers content and Final Fantasy XI content on my channel. And Space Engineers content is great because then you really have end-to-end production considerations going on, because you're also including like gravity and stuff in your calculations, and it's just all of this insanity, and it's great. It really is. This is an Infinity enchanting book, as well as a Riptide 3 enchanting book. This is a very powerful enchanting book. That's going to definitely be a enchant a bow type of book. And the saddle goes on the cactus. Cactus gobbles up the saddle. Problem solved. We once again have all of the, well, the majority of the wheat ready for harvest. One of my favorite tricks to use in survival mode, as well as adventure mode, is to make use of the fact that, unlike in creative mode, where the material will instantly break every time, in survival mode, you don't break all of the materials all of the time. There's a hardness level to take into account for all of the different crops and all of the different blocks and the ores, and there's all this different stuff. Creative is good for designing a redstone contraption and making sure the wiring is fine, but creative is not good for figuring out how to have end-to-end logistics handled, because you need to sit there and figure out how is this going to be able to be integrated with my my mining operation, for example. If you don't know how it interacts with your mine, then you're not going to have any idea how to interface the design with your build. And if you don't know how to interface a design with your build, then it's not a very useful design, obviously, because you don't know the interface. If the interface is foreign to you, obviously it's not going to be very useful, because it's all foreign, it's in a different language. That's a problem. But there are ways of working through it. Even though IKEA is notoriously difficult to construct furniture out of, people still manage to construct plenty of things through IKEA purchases and IKEA construction. And every now and then, they even get the thing that they purchased. Not always, though. They don't always manage to get the thing that they purchased. What do you mean we have a new car? I thought we purchased a bookshelf. Well, I purchased it from IKEA. Well, that explains everything. Really? Really? How rude of that zombie. Wandering over while I'm sitting here trying to plant the crops just in order for it to beat me up and try and munch on me because it wants my brains. It's like, zombie, I told you I am growing grains, not brains. But he wouldn't take no for an answer, and I had to chop his head off. Because he's a zombie. Okay. Yeah. If my players end up heading for the desert city, I can quickly and easily craft together a desert town. If they end up heading for the forest, I can probably decently easily workshop something together. I'm not entirely sure what I would make, but I think I would create something worthwhile. It would definitely be interesting because I would need to have pretty much everything up in the trees for what I'm thinking of. Oh, cool. Another mending bow. And an extra saddle as well. Oh, let me drink this water bottle. Let me take this saddle over to the cactus. Drop that on there. Repair my boots once again because I can. Then I shall go over to the smoker, which can be temporarily locked. Pull out some experience. Yep. Oh, it's the bow that has mending. Boom! Half the bow. All of the bow. Just like that. Just boom. Now I can go ahead and deposit all of this. Make sure that this is all nice and operational. Craft up all of these. Refill the fuel. Deposit the extra fuel, which is now actually a sizable amount. Yeah, I'm gonna need to get more villagers eventually. The question is when. Oh, I can apply the punch enchantment to the infinity enchantment here. Now I've got that covered. Go ahead and eat some more chicken. Make sure we're all fed. Don't want to starve after all. Yeah, it's still smelting down all of that kelp from the previous harvest, and this is like 2 harvests beyond that point. we technically need the second smelter online. Like, we need all of that stuff hooked up. We need the second smelter online. And then we would have the fully automatic kelp furnace being able to keep up with this kelp farm that is this one chunk of just, what is this, 5-6 deep kelp? That's all it is. It's just 5 or 6 deep. But there's just so much kelp that it's able to entirely outproduce. Okay, that goat is just showing off now. It's like, I'm on top of this tree. It's like, I can fix that. I'm holding a fishing rod. Do not tempt me, boy. You know. If you try and hide in the water, I have a pet axolotl that I might actually let out around here. I am thinking about adding a naming tier for my axolotls, because I will be keeping pet axolotls. I'll be breeding axolotls, making various farms with axolotls. However, I will need names for all of these axolotls. Therefore, I plan to start up a naming tier on my Patreon, where you will be able to get your name added to one of these axolotls at random. I will basically be exporting the regular monthly list of subscribers of a certain pledge donation tier minimum. You know, because all of the tiers, as you go up, you get, you know, all of the previous tiers plus whatever you get for the new tier. Therefore, you're able to very easily browse based on the donation level, on the pledge level, that you're able to browse what you get with each specific one. You know, it's not just sitting there and going, oh, well, you get all of the previous stuff plus this. It's like, no, you get this, you get this, you get this, you can screenshot it, I don't care, you know. You know, you're getting a lot of different things. I plan to start uploading to the Patreon when I get some form of interest in the Patreon. Currently, my schedule is rather booked with the editing of the videos. I have to go to each and every video. I have to paste in the proper template for the episode name. I have to paste in the name of the game being Minecraft Bedrock as opposed to just Minecraft. Specifically, it is the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, which was formerly known as Pocket Edition. You know, I am aware that my videos have a tendency to release in a rather spammy fashion. I apologize for that. But YouTube is not actually allowing me to turn off my notifications for my subscribers. I don't really know why. It doesn't offer me any tooltip on this or anything. It's just saying, well, okay, your video is set to private and before its scheduled release, and yeah, you're good to go. And it's like, well, no, I want to, uncheck that little box there, but it's grayed out. Why can't I uncheck it? And it doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't tell me, oh, you can't you can't remove the notifications to your subscribers because of this. No, it's just there as this option that is permanently enabled. And it's like, well, what if I don't want that option enabled? Then what? Then it doesn't have a setting for that. It shows up as though it has a setting for that, but it doesn't have a setting for that. And that kind of sucks. There's not really much of anything I can do about that. Okay, well, I can merge these fishing rods. Unfortunately, it would seem that I already had mending. Everything else would cost 37 levels to transfer over and probably be entirely irrelevant. What if I just did this? It would still have cursive vanishing. What if I did this? No, it would still have cursive vanishing. Okay, well, good to know, I guess. I probably will need another barrel for fishing drops pretty soon. I am aware that the majority of fishing will not yield mending. It's a rare chance that you would get mending anyways. Combine that with the fact that I'm not doing the AFK fishing, I'm just doing regular fishing. The odds of me getting something worthwhile are low, to say the least. The benefit is that whenever I find something that does have mending, because of the pond of kelp that I have, the 1x6 chunk of kelp, I am very easily able to repair any of my tools that have mending. Therefore, if I get a mending bow, I can apply the mending bow, fully repaired to any other bow. If it has cursive vanishing, I try and avoid mending it with non-cursive vanishing bows. But other than that, if it has cursive vanishing, I'll probably apply it to an infinity bow. I'll probably set that to an infinity bow because it's cursive vanishing, which means basically it's going to disappear anyways. Therefore, if you don't want the enemy to, to get a hold of your helmet, for example, you would apply Curse of Vanishing to your helmet. However, that would also mean that if you ever, for example, died whilst wearing your super OP helmet, that you would end up with not having your super OP helmet anymore. Which, in a situation like mine, where my helmet has mending, helmets are not well known for having mending. Unless you buy them from a wandering trader, or not a wandering trader, unless you buy them from a villager that has mending on that specific type of helmet. That was rude. That was very rude. The ram just ran up behind me and decided that it wanted to yeet me into the pond. Very, very rude. Yeah, if I applied Curse of Vanishing to my diamond helmet, that would kind of be stupid, because if I manage to get an ancient debris, I can upgrade this diamond helmet to a netherite helmet, and then I don't have to worry about losing my helmet in lava. I do still need to worry about getting it back from the lava, but I won't need to worry about losing it in lava, which is kind of important. Oops. Come on. It's nothing but source blocks in this entire pond. I know it. I got distracted by Minecraft. Yeah. If the players decide to venture into the underground, and they decide to delve deep, they will find themselves in the Underdark. They'll have to deal with the Illithid, they'll have to deal with the various Underdark monsters, which randomly roam the place. They'll have to deal with dark elves, drow. They'll need to deal with deep gnomes and Durgar and all kinds of other lovely problems which an adventurer exploring the underground might encounter. Fortunately, my wizard is a deep gnome. Therefore, if they encounter deep gnomes, there is a good chance they will be perfectly fine. Unless, of course, it's Jack Mist's family, at which point, then they probably won't be as fine. Because Jack Mist's family had a tendency to just kind of ostracize him because he was a bookworm and a nerd, and according to the lore of the world building, specifically because of the campaign that my campaign was based on being this way, the Deep Gnomes were comparable to a football jock. You know, like they were very muscular, very testosterone fueled. They were focusing more on the physical aspects rather than the mental aspects. This did cause some issues for Jack Mist growing up. It is part of his backstory. Perhaps it's just his family. Probably more reasonable to say it was just his family being, his family. The extent to which Jack Mist has managed to avoid needing to discuss his backstory is quite surprising, considering that Jack Mist has actually extensively tried to basically get everyone talking with each other. Jack Mist has tried to help everyone figure out how to best communicate their needs. Jack Mist has tried to make sure that if anyone did need anything, that he would be able to provide a modest amount of stability for the party. Very much utility mage. Jack Mist has been researching various spells for extra dimensional storage. He's been researching permanence spells because he wants to be able to create his own tower. He wants to create an actual wizard's tower of his own at some point. Therefore, he's been looking into spells like Galder's Tower. He's been looking into spells like, what's another spell that he would have been looking into? He would have been looking into spells along the lines of, the Magnificent Mansion spell, all kinds of different spells that are involved with the creation of magical towers, magical constructions, which are conceivably not possible. However, realistically, yeah, he's totally able to actually utilize a lot of this stuff. Okay, now if I do this, I can get power 5 on my infinity bow and fully repair it. It'll cost me 34 levels, but I will have a maxed out bow that is too expensive to do anything else with. I could not apply mending to that same bow because mending was too expensive. It would have replaced the infinity enchantment, but the infinity enchantment was too much, or was far cheaper than the mending enchantment, and the repair bill was too much. You know, some people say there's no use going past level 30. That's not true. As we've seen, some of these items go all the way up to level 39. There is an upper limit. However, the repair costs of your tools is an exponential increase. At some point, it becomes less expensive to just recreate the tool. And that's what I'm working towards. You know, you may notice that I'm running around with a lot of enchanted gear. The reason why I have a lot of enchanted gear is because I have been building on the principle of all of these different farms. You know, I needed wheat for hay bales because I plan to breed llamas at some point way in the future. Therefore, I set up a wheat farm. Now I have all of the wheat that I could ever need. You know, I can start littering the floor with hay bales if I wanted. I could get rid of all this grass and replace it with hay bales. I probably can't do that yet because I just don't have enough hay grown. But if I get a farming villager over here and I get them to set up camp like right here, maybe get 2 farming villagers, 1 for each composter, I could set it up to where they could access the composter. I could have fully automatic bone meal collection. I could have, a villager breeder set up. I could get all of that done, but I would want to build all of that up first and then bring over the villager. The problem with that is bringing over the villager. I don't want to go through the nether because mining through the nether is just difficult. You know, if I go into the nether, I'm going to want to basically bring nothing more than maybe an iron pickaxe with silk touch, just so I can retrieve the ores. And even then, I probably don't even want that. I probably want to actually use a fortune iron pickaxe. Okay, now that is something worth noting. That's just a fishing rod, basically. Yeah, that's the great thing about mending bows is a mending bow is going to pretty much always give you a full repair. Oops. swap these two bows, that's 28 levels. But I could transfer all of the enchantments from one bow to another. I do have a power 5 bow if I want it, but yeah. You know, mending will always provide a full repair very easily as you progress through your leveling. I do have an enchanted trident, which I probably want to re-enchant a few times. I probably want to just disenchant it and repair it and just re-enchant it until I get a proper trident. But for the most part, I just need mending. Like, really badly. I just need mending. There's a lot of things I can do without mending, but eventually it gets to the point where you're just gonna need mending, because without it, you're going to find yourself just struggling to keep up. Okay, Thorns 2, Bane of Arthropods 4, Infinity 1, and Allure 3. Well, it's got Thorns 2, so it's going on armor. Like, point blank, it's got Thorns 2, it's going on armor. I can drop off these saddles at the cactus, because what am I going to do with all of these saddles? Technically I don't need the Curse of Vanishing 1, Mending 1 fishing rod, because it's got Curse of Vanishing. I also technically don't need that on my bow, which means I can actually, I suppose I can get rid of this fishing rod as well. Let's see. Yeah, I'll get rid of this fishing rod as well. Which one is it? No? None of those. This one. Yeah, I don't need the Curse of Vanishing fishing rods anymore. I have enough fishing rods without them that I am able to very easily replace them. I am going to take a brief bathroom break. Okay, I am returned. There we go. Yeah, as you can see, there is not much to really visually appeal to anything. Feather Falling 4, those are going on the boots. Oops. Anyways, basically Jack Mist's clan is a clan full of muscleheads. And he's a nerd amongst basically a group of jocks. All of his friends were jocks, his family was jocks, and here he is, a nerd. And it's like, well, nerds tend to get bullied by jocks, and in Jack Mist's case, that was no different. He was a bit of an outcast. Jack Mist, growing up, encountered a few supernatural phenomenons. Next thing he knows, he's somewhere on the surface with no idea how he's going to get home. That was how Jack Mist managed to escape the Underdark. Was he found himself encountering some supernatural phenomenons, and that specific phenomena ended up putting Jack Mist on the surface. Right, that's my backup bow. That made a lot of room in the old inventory here. Jack Mist has been studying ways to make things permanent. He's a lore mastery wizard, which is an unearthed arcana archetype. It is very overpowered, and a perfect example of why it was definitely nerfed before it got republished as Warcasting Wizard, or War Wizard, or School of War Wizard. I mean, technically, if you're wanting a War Wizard, you're wanting an Evocation Wizard. Yeah, there is a lot of different things that is involved in generating a magical effect. By the way, one aspect of my campaign is that, technically speaking, as long as you have a caster class, you are capable of learning pretty much any type of spell. Therefore, it is possible for an arcane trickster with enough adventuring to learn all of the different wizard spells, for example, as they are utilizing intelligence-based runic casting in order to provide a magical effect. That is to be differentiated from druidic casting, for example, which utilizes the energy of nature for the spell, and that's also to be differentiated from the divine casting of religious types. There's runic casting, there's divine casting, and then there's nature casting. Jack Mist is a runic caster. Therefore, intelligence is his casting stat. He makes use of I guess none of those three classes really define sorcerers or bards, do they? I suppose that would be more of a natural casting, but that's using self-nature instead of nature of others. Druids utilize the nature of others. I guess I would need to figure out where a rogue would actually sit on that as an arcane trickster. I believe arcane tricksters rely on runes, if I recall correctly. Yeah, they do. Sorcerers rely on innate casting, which kind of gets them a little bit out of the running for rituals. Therefore, if you're looking for a spellcaster that is going to be a good utility caster, a sorcerer is not exactly a likely place to look. If you're wanting utility, you want something that can do rituals, which, depending on your party composition, you would either want a wizard or a cleric or a paladin. Paladins have a tendency to save all of their spell slots for their smite. Fire aspect, looting, and fortune. Well, that's definitely going on the sword. Whatever sword I make, that's going on it. Name tag. Oh, and tropical fish. I have spent a lot of time fishing. I've spent a lot of time fishing. Yeah. If my players end up not heading to the dwarves and they just end up wandering aimlessly, I do have a few locations planned out where if they go to certain locations on the map, they will find, for example, there's one area that has ruins. I could have it where we travel to the ruins. I would want to create a map for the ruins, but in my current condition, my schedule is all filled up with basically updating the entirety of my channel within the last year. Basically, all of the videos I've uploaded within the last year.